Hi, my name is Morgan Pangle. I am a junior at Bridgewater College, and today I'm here to share a little bit about my testimony and how God has guided me through it with His great strength. I grew up in a household that wasn't Christian. My dad was very anti-Christian, anti just religious establishments. He grew up kind of in a religious family he wasn't a fan of, and went through abuse and such. So he didn't, want his family like that. But my mom was a Christian, and she was a member at Tinkling Springs Church in Fishersville, and she'd been there a while. And she was a pretty devout Christian, but generally she had to hide it from my dad because my dad could be very abusive if she ever tried to put it on me or even tell me about it. But she did teach me the Lord's Prayer. So we would recite that every night together when she tucked me in. But that was really the only interaction I had with any type of religion or any type of, had I even, communicated with God or prayed or talked to the Holy Spirit. That was really it. And I grew up in an abusive household. It was just a lot going on. There was violence, both mental and physical. My brother actually, when he's older, but he got a lot of the physical stuff. I got a lot of the mental on the other side, and we both deal with it today. And that's something that we talk about. But growing up wasn't anything short of definitely a struggle. And that was something I lived with, and it's something that I eventually, it became a normalcy in my life, which I see now as more problematic, but then it was just something I dealt with. In 2012, in February, my mom was diagnosed with a brain tumor, and in the summer of 2012, my father was diagnosed with lung cancer. They both passed away in 2012, my mother in October of 2012, and my father in December of 2012. And that was tough for me. It was December of 2012, and Dad passed, and Pastor Margaret came to my house, and I came home from school, and Pastor Margaret was sitting there, and I had known exactly what had happened because Pastor Margaret had come, and she was on the couch, and I knew why she was on the couch, and that was just a tough day. I remember it very well. I didn't even talk to Pastor Margaret, but I knew what had happened, and she was there to support me. And even if my father was abusive a good majority of the time, he still loved me, and we still had good moments together. And there was still there was a lot of loss there. I wasn't sure how to deal with a lot of that pain. I moved to Georgia for some time, and it wasn't great. I tried to commit suicide a few times up there, and eventually landed in a mental hospital for a few days, and that was really a low point for me. Until really, I had heard God calling me my entire life through, I'd say the Lord's Prayer, and I could see my mother's faith on display. Even when my father, would try to take it away, it would still acts of kindness in public. She loved everybody. And she prayed, and you could tell she just had to hide it from my father. But I had felt the Spirit calling me for so long, but I just, not something I felt I could reach out to. I was in so much pain and so much hurt. But I realized I couldn't stand on my own strength. I had been trying to, dealing with everything, but I really couldn't. I went to youth group with some family of mine, and eventually started going to church in Waynesboro, the Community Fellowship Church of the Nazarene. And I started going up there, and eventually I came to HFCN, and I was at a point where I was a person that thought, God can't redeem me, I'm just one of the lost. I'm the one that, instead of the 99, he doesn't come after me. I don't belong in His kingdom based on my past and my hurt. But for someone that thinks that all is lost, I can tell them that having been in a low pit, and obviously there's lower pits, but having been in a low pit, that God still redeems. God is still there for you. God, He loves you. There's no greater love that I can imagine. And continual prayer is something I emphasize so much. God is constantly with you, and He's going to put people in your life that are going to build you up. And you're not going to stay in the hurt for a long time. God said, life here on earth, it's not easy, but He's going to bring you through it. And I think my testimony is an example of that. God brought me through what He did to where I am today. I'm a faithful believer in God. I'm a faithful believer that Jesus Christ died on the cross for my sins. And His love is what keeps me going, even on the tough days.